Welcome to Fantasy Baseball, Baseball, Baseball. I'm Dan O'Day, along with Steve Romano. Steve, hey, how you doing?
I'm good, Dan. How you doing this week?
I'm doing good and well, but better now that you and I are talking baseball. And specifically for this podcast, we're going to be talking Field of Dreams. It's a head-to-head league we're in with 14 teams, and we've both been in it for a while now, me longer than you, and it's very competitive and fun.
It is very competitive and fun. I definitely enjoy the format, head to head, 5 moves a week. You got to have at least 25 innings pitched. Everyone gets all their innings pitched and all that. And there's activity on the waiver wire and a lot of waiver wire activity on the last 3 days of the week when people are jockeying for those final stats. It's a good league.
It's a good league. And here's the thing. I don't know any of these people except meeting them through Yahoo. And I think that's a beautiful thing too. People from all over the country don't even know each other, but they have this common theme that they love, and it brings them together to make a great league.
It is cool when that happens, from the old school days of doing public Yahoo leagues.
Yeah.
And then you just find some people who are always active and you
And
might
cool.
throw them a bone like, hey, I've got this other thing going. We could use you if you're interested. And the next thing you know, that network just grows and grows and something like this. It keeps rolling along for however he's had it going along.
Long time, long
Humboldt,
years,
yeah,
long years.
Humboldt.
Yeah. Humboldt will
Humboldt,
tell
tell
us.
us in tell us how long you've had this league going on.
If this is live, he could call in, but we're not live. We had some great posts, people talking about what's going on in the league and stuff. Um, Speaking of Humboldt, he posted last year's standings at the end of the years. And, it's just interesting because, things have flipped for some teams. With Momo, Sliders, IP Tigers, Lumber Company, Juiced Up for Summer, and Creek Expos, who finished third in the regular season, being the top six. Baltimore Chop seventh, Raptor eighth. So, and Atlanta Braves ninth, and Atlanta Braves is first right now. So it's just interesting to see things change year to year with the activity of this fun league of people who I don't think anyone really knows each other besides through Yahoo. I could be wrong. Jim can let us know that. But let's talk about last week's matchups.
Last week was week 12, I believe, right? Yeah, that was already week 12.
It was week 12, and the seasons are going quick, and we only have 23 weeks. So
No,
really, we're
20.
over that halfway.
20.
Oh yeah, that's the playoffs. So 20. So we are way past half. We're two past. Oh my. So
Yeah, so we only have 8 weeks to go of the regular season to determine who those final 6 teams in the playoffs are.
that's crazy, and that's crazy indeed. And I like to talk about my matchup first because I'm talking, and I like my matchups, and my team's been doing okay. And this week, especially, it was the matchup of the week. So
You were in the matchup of the week?
I was on the app. I'm in the matchup of the week against Humboldt Crabs. And Humboldt Crabs was in first place last week, and I won the matchup 7-3.
That's a big win for you. Big win.
It was a big win. I needed it. I moved into the playoff contention, which we'll find out later. But it was a tough matchup all week. I had kind of a small lead at the beginning of the week, but it was 5-4-1, 6-4, 5-5, 4-5-1. It kept changing throughout the week, and then at the end of the week, it was really even. Saturday and Sunday, a couple 5-5s, and then the last day happened, and we had some close stats in the offensive categories. Runs I took pretty handily, 43-31, but homers was 12-11.
Oh, wow.
And one of the
Yeah.
reasons I won that category is because on Sunday, Hunter Goodman hit two homers.
Love Hunter Goodman.
Oh, love me some Hunter Goodman, man. So that worked out really well, and that's what took the category with those two home runs because I won by one home run. RBIs was 43-31 by me, pretty handily, but stolen bases 6-5. And the same kind of thing happened, Steve. On I think it was Saturday, I got two stolen bases to move ahead. And I didn't get any Sunday, but that was able to give me that matchup. 6-5, average was 309, average of 241. So I had that handily too. And then pitching. Pitching was an interesting thing. So I won the win category 3-2. And I made some decent pickups. I had Bradley going. I picked up Feed, who came in after a starter. You know how they start a reliever a lot. Everybody knows that. And Feed
Yep.
came in and pitched 2.2 innings. He ended up getting the win, which was important because I
Whoa.
won the category by one. And the thing that was surprising at the time, and before I saw the post, was Humboldt Crabs on Sunday. Also had a pitcher who got a win, but he was on his bench,
Oh, who did he leave on the bench?
Peralta.
Uh, he left Peralta on the bench.
Yeah,
Did he do that on purpose?
He started already. I don't know how to say that name from Houston. Can you say that name for me? Arrighetti?
Arrighetti?
Arrighetti. I had the silent G. So that was wrong. And so Arrighetti, he pitched 6 innings, 7 Ks, 6 ERA, 1.5 whip. Did not get a win. And so I was very surprised by that. But then I went to the board and I saw Jim said, never underestimate the Stony Sliders, which I appreciate him saying that. I didn't. I made every move I could and still lost. I felt like Stony morphed into Jalen Brunson with his late day six and day seven finish. Woo!
Oh, I
I love
like that.
I
Yeah.
love it. That was great. I did sit Peralta, starting pitcher, going into Tim's uh, team's Atlanta Braves. So Peralta was going against the Braves, I guess. He's been horrible lately, and I wanted to preserve whip. Of course, Peralta wins
Mm.
and matches his best game in more than a month, and Stoney's last minute ad of Feed grabs a win. The thrill of victory and the agony of defeat in head to head. Well done, Stoney. And shout out to Baltimore Chop on his season after having to auto draft his team after his first one or two picks due to a conflicting important commitment. So I did not know that. Baltimore Chop had to auto draft most of it. And Baltimore Chop responded, thanks for the shout out, Jim. It's a thin house of cards right now, though. Feels like every team is loaded for Bear right now. It's so true. Is every team is loaded to some degree. It's very even league besides a few teams. But it was a great win for me. So I won the win category by that one, and he had Peralta, and that would have made it 6-3-1.
Yeah.
And then if I don't have Hunter Goodman, I have Dingler on my team too, and I play him in utility sometimes. But if I didn't play Goodman, which I play him every day, um, I would have lost the home run category. So it could have been easily. I lost the K category 66 to 56. I couldn't catch up. He had 69 innings to my 54. So that held true. The inning, more innings won the K. Saves 5-1 because I don't really have some save guys. I need more save guys. I picked up a guy actually. And then he took his whip 1-2-0, which he said he was trying to protect. I had a 1-3-0. And then I took ERA 4.33 to his 5.48. So 5.48 and 4.38. I don't say the point, Steve. I
Yeah.
think it's implied. And so it was a great matchup, 7-3, decisive victory, but it could have gone either way.
Yeah. It sounds like it could have been, I mean, it could have been 5-4
Yeah.
his way. Actually,
Yes.
that was going
Absolutely.
into Saturday morning, it was possible.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with you. It could have easily been 5-4. So it was going against the first place team. It felt like that. Like he said, Saturday and Sunday, we both used all our moves, and it felt like a chess match, and it felt like a tough battle. And I came out ahead 7-3. So that was nice. And then I see you.
Hey,
You're
real
next
quick
on
to
my
point
list.
out with Humboldt
Yes,
Crabs, that was
please.
only their second week of loss.
Whoa.
They're 10, yeah, they're 10-2. So good job on you for giving them their second defeat.
I'm going to spread that around the clubhouse, actually. So if we go into your matchup, good battle, Jim. Thanks for the post. You lost to Baltimore Chop 8-1.
Oh, it was a smackdown all week. Like all week. I mean, there was some I was it was 0-9 on a few days, and then I remember even looking on Saturday, I was at work and I showed my friend, my bartender Trevor. I'm like, dude, look at my matchup. And I showed it to him and he was like, ooh, 2-8. That's terrible. And I was like, oh no, I'll take it. It was 0-9 most of the week.
Wow. Wow. Well, it ended up being 1-8, and you won the one category of wins, 5-4. And you had 46 innings, and he had 66 innings, which I always like to point out. It's like you would think, once again, have 12 more innings, better chance with more Ks and more wins. But
Yeah.
did you get a late win Saturday or Sunday?
Yeah. I mean, generally speaking, it was there was some, I think I missed a start too. I think I did one morning. Wasn't there like a Peacock game one morning during this week? I forget.
Did they get a win?
Um, no, he got
Okay.
kind of shelled.
Oh, that's okay. Well, you lost convincingly. You also saved 2-2. So there was your one win and your one tie. They took
Nice.
K60. Yeah, that was
My
nice.
weakest, my weakest category because like you, I'm very deficient in
I'm
saves.
deficient.
So
So yeah,
I'll,
if you could pull off a tie and saves, I feel the same way. It's a victory. Absolutely. 64 to 41, 3.51 to 5.09, and 122 to 176 whip. Easily won by Chop the rest of the pitching categories. You had some bad pitching, a 1.76 whip. It is not good.
yeah, no, they had to work hard at that. So they put in the effort.
And I got to tell you, Steve, your team wasn't horrible, but they weren't good offensively. 226 at bats for Chop, 206 at bats for you. So 20 more, but that's within range. But they just demolished you. 40 to 23 in runs, 13 to 8 in home runs, 38 to 22 in RBIs, 296 to 223 in average, and 13 stolen bases to one. So I just got to say,
Damn.
13 stolen bases is a lot of stolen bases. And
Hey,
38
all of
ribbies
those
and
numbers.
40 runs and 13 homers is nothing to sneeze at. Exactly.
Yeah, that's like a great week. Like you would take that every week. Like if someone was like, "Would you like these numbers every week for the rest of the season?" I'd be like, "Yes, pencil
Yeah.
it in. I'll take them every damn week."
Well, it looks
Wow.
like Herrera had 2 home runs for him. Naylor had 2 home runs. Okamoto had 2 home runs. Wood had 3 home runs for him. You know, just and stolen bases. Where would you get all those from? He had 3 from Wood, 2 from Pena, 2 from Herrera, a few people with one. I mean, probably somebody dropped, probably got him a stolen base. Just crazy stats for the chop
Yeah.
that week. But yeah,
Hey, and with Chop too, they started the season with 5 straight losses, but now that's 7 straight wins.
well, you know what? The information the detective in me sees that he had the auto draft. He had a commitment he couldn't get out of, so he was there for the first couple picks. Good for him, actually. Important picks if you think about it. And auto draft took him 5 weeks to get his team in order. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Because it does.
maybe.
He's picking up people he thinks might pan out. He's picking up people drop that they wish they didn't later. So Baltimore Chop has fought back a great victory against you. You were on the rise, so a tough loss for you. And we go to the next matchup:
Yep.
SoCal Stat Stuffers against Raptor. They were pretty close. I think they were both where they are this week, 8-7, but they were close
Yeah.
in the standings last week. They finished close in their battle, 5-5.
It's a nice, good matchup there from the seventh and eighth place teams
Absolutely, and
head
it's
to head.
total absolutely. And the thing is, it's really I took pitching, you took batting. So 4-1, SoCal Stat Stuffers took the pitching over Raptor, and 4-1, Raptor took pitching over SoCal Stat Stuffers.
Yeah. Now, granted, both teams when you're trailing the final playoffs to seed and you're so close,
Yeah.
a 5-5 week, at least it's not hurting you, but it's really not doing anything for you, right?
With
It's just
time
like,
running out, yes, I think
yeah,
with this much time, still 5-5 doesn't hurt you too much. In a few weeks, 5-5 is not what you're looking for if you're right on the outside looking in. Um,
yep,
we had a couple close categories offensively. SoCal Stat Stuffers, as I said, dominated 35-29 in runs, 13-9 in homers, 33-21 in ribbies, 270, 240 in average. And Raptor took stolen bases 5-3. So it was the opposite in pitching. Like I said, Raptor took saves 4-1, K's 56-54.
right there,
Right
yeah,
there. So Raptor uh, barely hanging on to K's to make it 5-5. 405 ERA to 505 and 142 whip to 149. That is also very close.
yeah. That's something that just a couple of clean innings could have changed.
Absolutely. And wins were SoCal Stat Stuffers 4-2. So, well, now, Steve, I do a deep dive every so often. Let's take a look. It was SoCal Stat Stuffers, correct?
Yep.
Well, what did they do on Sunday? They had a 2.21 ERA and a 1.18 whip with 2 wins. on Sunday.
Ooh,
And
yeah,
who were they up against?
Raptor.
That's what I thought. Thank you very much, sir. Well, Sunday Raptor also had some innings. Let's see, 5.2 innings. So the 6.35 ERA, and only 5.2 innings, and the 1.76 WHIP did not help Raptor that last day.
Yeah, but they still
Yep,
took the categories.
they still
So
took the category, so they gave them some hope. Let's put it that way. You know what I'm saying? Made it close, but a very even 5-5 matchup. We move on to your buddy who played IP Tigers, Bellingham Bells, who was ahead in the standings on IP Tigers, and 5-5.
yeah, he's Trevor's enjoying his time in here, and he loves the activity.
It's great, and that's what makes this league special. Is that everyone's active, and and that's hard to do. Even if you're in like playoff contention or right outside, it's hard to do because of there's life. There's that whole life thing, Steve. People have to do, and then also once you're
Yeah,
out of contention, it's hard to do because of that also. So I love this league for that reason. I'm glad he's enjoying it at 5-5. And once again, it was the same thing. He took the batting categories 4-1, and IP Tigers took the pitching categories 4-1.
well, there's quite a few of those types of matchups, huh?
Apparently, a 38-29. Bell's runs 12-9 and home runs 33-25 and RBIs and 279 to 272 average. So that's very close, Steve. Average could have tilted that 279, 272, and the IP's one category offensively was 4-2 in stolen bases.
Yeah, I mean, another hit by IP Tigers,
Yeah,
maybe two hits. You know,
absolutely, absolutely. It wins 6-5. IP Tigers took 4-1 in saves. The one category Bells took in the pitching category was 60-52 in Ks. ERA 263 to 470 and whip 094 to 137. So not close there. But like you said, Bells and IP, I mean, anything could have happened that last day. So I gotta look, Steve. I'm really always curious how that last day goes. You know what I'm saying? The
sure.
Bells batted 300 that last day, 9 for 30.
Hmm.
So that's interesting. And
And IP
IP
Tigers.
Tigers on Sunday looks like they batted 323, 10 for 31. So IP
Oh,
gave it a push, just like you said, 11 for 31, and IP probably takes the category, but 10 for 31 on that last day. Wow.
so close.
Yeah, it goes to show, that could have been a 6-4 instead of a 5-5. And a couple 6-4s, your record's totally different. And then a couple 5-5. So it all matters. It all adds up. Numbers. That's what I love baseball for. Next matchup is Momo's, Mr. Awesome's Momo's, who I appreciate the beer mug he leaves, as I mentioned to him, beat Lollygaggers 7-3.
Momos has been playing good, and Momos was good last year, and
Momo's is good.
Lollygaggers is having a struggling year.
Absolutely.
Obviously.
Took some good categories though. Average was 283 to 271. Lollygaggers took, but the rest of the offense was Momo's 38 to 20, 11 to 4, 33 to 24, and 5-3. That's runs, homers, RBIs, and stolen bases. 221 at bats to 173. So about, almost 50 difference in at bats. Innings 56.2 to 52, though. Lollygaggers got their innings and took two categories. K's 50 to 47. Nice. That was close. And ERA, 5.88 to 5.88. So we got to go to a fourth number, 5.88 to 5.88. I don't know what that fourth number is, but it was lower for Lollygaggers. So he took ERA also. Wow, look at that ERA, Steve. 5.88 to 5.88.
That's crazy. The odds of that happening.
Yeah, 56.2 innings and 52 innings. You have to go to the fourth number. Absolutely. 3-1 wins for Momo's, 2-0 on the saves, or 117 to 132 in the whip. So a good victory for Momo's, who has had a lot of good victories this year.
Yeah, and right now they're in the playoffs. They're in the playoffs. They were in the
Absolutely.
playoffs last year.
They won it all last year.
Oh, they won it all last year.
Yeah, man.
Damn. All right. Did they beat you in the finals?
Oh, Steve, it hurts when you bring it up.
All right.
No, it doesn't hurt. But I was going for a 3 peat. It would have been nice. But yeah, Momo's totally quality player, got a good team, active. So yeah, always good and a
That
decisive
was a
seven
good
three.
yeah, it was a good win for Momo too because of the 12 weeks so far. Like they had more wins kind of stacked early-ish.
Right.
They've been very up and down, peak and valley. So they'd be good or well to do to go on a hot streak as we
Yeah.
get close
And
to the
seven
season.
three is a nice win. Like 6-4 is a good win. 7-3 is better.
Yeah,
Obviously.
definitely.
Yeah, obviously.
Definitely.
But still, it adds up. Those sevens add up a lot more. So Juiced Up for Summer took the next match up 9-1 over Creek Expos, and always interested to see what one category was. And Creek Expos took saves 2-1.
Hey, what a run for Juiced Up for Summer, huh?
Yeah.
9-1.
Well, Juiced Up for Summer needed that big win. Creek Expos got 25.2 innings.
Mm-hmm. Ooh.
Yeah.
So
So
they
Creek
just got
Expos
in there?
barely got in there, maybe busy. Don't know. I don't. But did get the innings needed, so that's great. 5-2 win though for two stuff for Summer in the pitching. 62-29, 2-3-2 to 4-2-1, and 1-1-4 to 1-2-9 in the WHIP. So decisive victory for Summer at pitching, and then offense they swept 185 to 178 at bats. So it was close. Two up for Summer with only seven more at bats, but won the categories 40 to 28 in runs, 15 to 9 in home runs, 38 to 27 in RBIs, 8 to 3 in stolen bases, and 292 to 219 in average. I thought 8 stolen bases was a lot, but after seeing whoever it was with 13, that's crazy. I think it was Chop, I forget. But a good, decisive victory for Two Up for Summer. Needed it, was I think a
Yeah,
little lower in the standings. It was in the top six, I believe, but now a little more solid top towards the top.
they were actually, through the first 6 weeks, they were 5-1, and they were one of the top three teams.
Wow.
But then they went on a 4-game losing streak, 4-week losing streak. But now they have bounced back with an 8-2 win and a 9-1 win. So
Wow.
they just made up 14 games in 2 weeks coming off that 4-week losing streak. So good for them.
Good for them. They needed that, and that was a decisive victory. And this is an interesting matchup. It was 6-4 Atlanta Braves over Lumber Company, but it was close, man. You know, Atlanta Braves won 6-4 by taking the pitching mostly, swept the pitching, and only had one category offensively, 8-2 in stolen bases. So Atlanta Braves had more at bats, 195 to 174, but Lumber Company took runs 30 to 22, took homers 8-7, RBIs 20 to 18, average 299 to 246. And then pitching was, swept by Braves, 61 innings to 40 innings, 3-1 wins, 3-0 and saves, 68 to 26 in Ks, 4.87 ERA to 5.40 and 1.16 whip to 1.60. So 6-4 though is a close with the Lumber Company. I have to look because was that a bigger win for Braves? Lumber Company won home runs by one and RBIs by two. So we have to look, don't we, Steve? We have to look what happened the
Yeah.
last day. Let's take a look at Lumber Company that last day. On Sunday, Lumber Company batted 250, but had a homer with three ribbies and two runs. So let's see um, what the other team was. Atlanta Braves, correct?
Braves. Yep.
Thank you. The Braves on Sunday batted 250, but they
Mm-hmm.
had two
What was
homers
the
and five ribbies. So they both batted 250 the last day.
right? So they both held ground.
Yeah, but
But
a nice. I mean, come on.
that
If you think about the places in the standings, that's a great week for a team
yeah.
a lot lower in the standings. Lumber Company, 6-4 loss, 4-6, but good way to hang in there indeed.
And the Braves are 9-3 on their weekly matchups.
Well, it's interesting, Steve, because you say that, and that's very good segue because the Braves are now in first place again. They
Yep.
Humboldt Crabs was in first place for a week, I think, or so, maybe two, just a week. And but Atlanta Braves back in first place. Humboldt Crabs in second place, a game behind the Braves. Juiced up for summer in third with that big win. Only 2 games back of Atlanta Braves. So think about that. Top three teams are within. They're basically right there, 2 games.
Yeah. Super close.
Super close, super close. Baltimore Chop next at fourth place. They're 4.5 behind first. Momo's in fifth place, 7 games back. So they're pretty tight. And then I'm in sixth place, kind of tied with Raptor, 11.5 games back. I guess I'm percentage because I'm 62, 55, and 3. And Raptor is 61, 54, and 5. So I'm in sixth place, Raptor in seventh, but we're both 11.5 games behind the first place team. But there's a little division between fifth and us because that's 4.5 games. Momo's ahead of us, tied for six, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. But, obviously 8 weeks to go.
Oh
Four and a
yeah,
half games with nothing in 8 weeks.
I just want to be in the top six. I'm just happy to be in the top six. Hopefully, my team can keep doing well. And then after Raptors, SoCal Stat Stuffers, just 2 games behind us in eighth place, and then 4 games behind SoCal Stat Stuffers is Nate and Bellingham Bells.
Yeah. Me and Bellingham are both
You are tied.
17 and a half
They're
back.
52,
Yeah.
57, and 11, and you're 54, 59, and 7. So they're percentage points ahead of you, but both 17.5 games back. Both of you under 500.
Yeah. So that's good to see right there. The top 8 teams are all above 500.
Yeah.
And even 9 and 10. I mean, we're at 479. That's not awful, but, you
No,
know,
it's not. So it's very close. I think Creek Expos is 4 games behind you guys in 11th. And then IP Tigers are 9 points behind Creek Expos. The IP Tigers in 12th. Had a decent week. Lollygaggers 35.5 games back. And Lumber Company 36.5 games back. Um, And don't forget, as we were reviewing last year's stats, IP Tigers and Lumber Company were in the top six. So the things have changed from last year, but active they are, which is one of the things I love. And I'm just happy to be in the top six. And Steve, I gotta say, I really think the top 10 for sure are still within sneezing distance, but I think Creek Expos is too.
yeah, I mean, they're 10 games out of a playoff spot with 8 weeks to go. Yes, that's doable. It's definitely doable.
It's
It's
definitely
not
doable.
impossible.
But also the teams below Creek Expos pretty far away to make a playoff push, but can totally affect the standings, as we were just reviewing. Because going into that matchup, Atlanta Braves was probably like, "All right, I'm taking on Lumber Company," but they just kind of came away with a 6-4 win.
Yeah, nice. That's what you got to do.
So what you got to do is staying active. And speaking of activity, let's talk about some of the transactions. I like going through the transactions. I think it's great for the head-to-head league to kind of review some of the moves made and stuff. Um, let's go back, Steve. Let's go back and like in a time machine. I'm strapped in. Let's go back to Tuesday. Sorry about the time machine noise. I'm working on that. The June 9th I have.
Right, June 9th.
I see that Humboldt Crabs picked up May. Derek May, I believe, is it? The pitcher.
Dustin.
Dustin, thank you.
Dustin
Derek May
May.
used to be an outfitter. Didn't there was somebody named Derek May? I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Dustin May for $2. Dustin May pitching pretty well this year. They dropped K Win, another pitcher who will be picked up and dropped for sure.
Yeah, Dustin May surprisingly have a decent year. I mean, he could not only would he be picked up and dropped over and over and over for the rest of the year, but you might be able to get a couple of weeks out of him and get 2 or 3 starts out of him if he pitches well enough.
Absolutely, he's one of those guys you pick up
Which
that
is good.
you consider maybe I'll keep him this next week too. Um, I picked up Patrick. I think he's a reliever. He could have been starting. I don't even know. Prelip I dropped. I've already dropped Patrick. Atlanta Braves picked up F. Griffin, pitcher, and dropped Cantillo. Do you know anything about F.
Yeah.
Griffin?
Yeah, Foster Griffin, right? Like he's the guy who came out of nowhere and you were like, how is this guy still available or just getting picked up with those type of numbers? And then he did kind of have some blow ups to the point that now he's a guy who's getting picked up and dropped regularly.
Right. Still looking for that silver lining that people said he had, as it's been a bumpy road for Foster Griffin. Rushing was picked up. Listen, Will Smith is on the IL, so Rushing's that's a good pickup. And Lipitor, the pitcher, was dropped. That name we read every week.
Yeah, and the great call in rushing for sure. I
Oh
mean,
yeah, great
I'm,
pickup by
I'm sure
Raptor.
there was probably 4 or 5 teams in here that were like, oh,
Yeah.
know,
Well, I it's tough. It's only 14 teams, and most of us have a catcher we have, right? But a lot of teams
yeah,
might have two. I don't think everyone do. We're not going to do a deep dive and look at the roster, but um, I have a problem though because I have Colorado's catcher who hit 2 home runs for me on Sunday,
yeah,
and he's great. But I
that's
also have Dingler.
oh, geez,
Right. So I got Goodman and Dingler. So I play Dingler in utility, but sometimes I want to put Aranda in there or somebody else. And sometimes it's tough sometimes with somebody who just plays catcher, two of them. Even though it's nice to have a backup, but
yeah,
Goodman plays all the time.
yeah, I would
Like
imagine.
not like percentage of games started. I would say that Goodman's probably as high as anybody when it comes to catchers, which is nice. So then the next pickup, and that's that was a decent pickup. But what are you going to do? So Clemens, after rushing, Hamilton dropped
Cody
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 Clemens.
Clemens has been kind of hot. He's been on a heater,
Cody Clemens related to Roger Clemens.
which is both a good thing and a bad thing.
Yeah, when he was pitching, when he was younger, it was a good thing. We loved Roger Clemens in the early days, didn't we?
Sure. I mean, I grew up, I'm a Red Sox fan. So when I was a teenager, I absolutely had loved Roger Clemens.
But then things changed. Um, but Cody has been hot, as you said, and he's getting some pickups and drops probably across all of uh, the fantasy world. Nice to
Yeah.
see. Yeah, absolutely. And he plays first, second, and outfield.
Yeah. Like I said, he's been playing, he's had a good streak past
Well,
10 days or so.
well, absolutely. I like the Swiss Army knife players who play at multiple positions. Hamilton is one of those. He was dropped for Clemens. A guy who's going to get you some steals if you're lucky. Probably one of the reasons you're picking him up, or just to get a game played and some at bats. Higashioka, Shoka,
Higashioka. Yeah.
Shoka. I got it there at the end. Higashoka was picked up. Catcher Miles was dropped. Probably SoCal stat stuffers needed a catcher that day. Caglione I picked up, and Parades was dropped. And Caglione was really hot for a few days, and I picked him up, and I got one of the hot days.
Interesting. Those are both guys that I would have interest in if they're still out there and I can think of someone to drop. Like, because they're both underperforming, but I
Yep.
think at some point they're going to have a great run, right? Like, I think Caglione's got to, he's still waiting for one of those 3 to 4 week streaks where he's just terrifying.
Well, I thought it was a good pickup at the time because he was hot, but I think I've already dropped him. But he went 3 for 3 with 2 homers and 4 for 5 with 2 runs and a ribby, and then 2 for 4. So he had like a 3 game stretch. You're like, this is the guy we all drafted. I spent money on him in the Roto League, like a lot, I think, and I dropped him because he has been underperforming to say the least.
Yeah, he has.
Yeah, he hasn't met that. But a lot of young guys do that. They get this big build up. He's going to be good. He's going to be good. He's the next Kurtz. People have been saying that, I swear. And
Yeah.
so it's nice to see him have a good stretch. He's out there. Maybe someone picked him up. Ward was picked up by Humboldt Crabs, and Ray, that's Robbie Ray, the pitcher, was dropped.
Yeah, Ward's going to get some at bats because of Will Smith being injured and now Rushing being the catcher, right?
Yep.
I think so.
That'll help.
Yeah.
And Kafkar is also on the IL.
Oh, right. So Oscar Hernandez is on the IL too, right?
Yeah, and I listen. I watch all of baseball, right? But I watch a lot of Dodgers, live because they're on my TV as opposed to on the app. I can put the app on the TV, but um, Ward's been playing really well.
Yeah, clearly, if the fucking commissioner just picked him up.
That's a good point, Humble Crash. Oh yeah, that's a good point. But I just want to say I beat him 7-3. So Littell was picked up. SoCal Stat Stuffers picked him up and dropped Lampert as a starting pitcher move. That was on Thursday. And then McLean, Another guy who hasn't performed as much as people hope was picked up by SoCal Stat Stuffers also, and Abreu was dropped, the relief pitcher.
Both good guys because I think Abreu's had a save since then too.
I think he has. I like Littell, I like Abreu, and I like McLean's upside. He's the double position second base shortstop. Humbug Crabs, speaking of the commissioner, picked up G. Taylor. He's a relief pitcher for the White Sox. I had him and I dropped him. I wish I wouldn't have. And Wards was dropped. So he's playing
Yep.
good enough for a day as a fill-in because, as he said on his post, he was trying to get stats. He used all five
Yep.
of his moves. I don't know if he always does use all five of his moves. So he picked up Taylor, though. I like Taylor. He gets a save every so often, but he's pitching great. His strikeout per inning and his ERA and WHIP. He's a great reliever. He should be closing, but Sir Anthony Dominguez is closing for the White Sox. So I picked up this guy. You know how I feel about spending money in a league with $0 pickups.
Yeah.
You know how I feel. So picking up Montgomery, I just hoping he plays good. He's got a good minor league track record. I picked him up for
Yeah, he
15
was a
bucks.
guy the Red Sox drafted with the seventh overall pick a few years ago. And then he was part of the package when they traded for Garrett Crochet,
Right.
right?
Yes.
And he was a kid in like the College World Series that was he the guy that was freaking amazing, like literally helped the team win by a lot? I mean, like clearly he was their engine that drove the train, but I think he tore his ACL in the
Oh.
championship game. Like in the championship game.
Oh.
Like sliding in the home plate or something. It was something
Whoa.
like that.
Yeah.
So that delayed his entire. He still got drafted seventh. They were saying he could have been in the top three, and it really set him back on his development at like when he first started playing in the minors. Obviously, he had to miss a whole season coming back from ACL tear, but he's a fucking straight up blue chip prospect. That kid.
Wow. Well, I spent $15 because money's money in this league, and I can get by the season with zero. I'd like to have some left so I can pick up someone like him, and I did for 15. I don't even know if there were any other bidders. I think Bell's actually bid like $5 or $3 or something. Um, so then SoCal Stat Stuffers picked up Cowser and dropped
Yeah.
Higashaki. Chucky. Um,
Hauser's been hot too. He's the type of guy
Cowser.
that's been getting some action lately on the waiver wire.
Yeah, and obviously, SoCal just picked up the catcher for a day, and Calzer is getting a lot of play in fantasy. Kolick was pitched up. This is now Friday. We're talking the last couple moves, last few moves. Kolick was picked up as a starting pitcher, and G Sheets was dropped by SoCal Stat Stuffers. Sheets was hot for a while.
For a while, he was super hot, and he
Super.
got picked up almost everywhere. But
He's,
now that's kind of that
you know,
he's tailed off quite a bit.
And that's an interesting thing because we're in a head-to-head league, which is a week-to-week league. And there's a guy who, no kidding you, it's not the first time he's done in his career. He can get super hot for 5 to 7 days and almost carry your offense.
Oh yeah, like he gets, he's a top 25 player for like 3 weeks out of nowhere. It's kind of crazy.
Absolutely. And so he was dropped. Kolek was picked up because he needed to pick up a starting pitcher, and that could have been one of those drops. You're like, I don't know who to drop. Then he dropped Sheets. Maybe he's gone cold lately. Sandlin was dropped by the IP Tigers. You dropped Dollander. Then you picked up a great pickup who I would have picked up a few days ago, but I have Kurtz as my first baseman, and I already explained to you I played Dingler right and Goodman as my catchers and my utility and catcher. I got no position for Eldridge. I wanted Eldridge. You picked him up and dropped Waldschmidt, another rookie. I am really high on Eldridge. As you know, I picked him up in the Roto League, and I think that's a great pickup for you, Steve. Do you have room to play him?
Well, clearly, yeah, my team's not good enough. Like it's one of those you can look at your roster and be like, I got that position filled, and you're like, look, you're just trying to create raw numbers, right? Can you use the help or not? And
Right,
I was
right.
I was kind of shocked when he was out there. I was like, oh shit, he's still out there.
If I didn't
And
have Kurtz and the double catcher, he wouldn't have been.
yeah, and Walden Schmidt, he was great when he first got called up, but he's really cooled off and he hasn't really come along with any power. Stolen bases were good, but
Yeah, but I like his name though, Walt
Yeah,
Schmidt.
Wall Schmidt. Yeah,
Yeah,
sorry,
Schmidt
Wall
makes me
Schmidt.
think of Mike Schmidt. So as a Philly fan growing up, big time Tater Zen picked up B Young, a pitcher, going after some innings, I'm guessing, and then you also picked
Yep.
up Gomez and dropped Zebby Matthews, a person with a high ceiling, but pitching bad lately. I think hasn't he?
Yeah, awful. And actually, thank God I missed both of them. Like he had pitched good. I picked him up and didn't start him because I wanted to see, and I think he got shelled. But then, oh, that was a Peacock one. I definitely remember, right? Like, oh no,
Right.
I forget. But there was a 10-10 start one day,
Oh my God. Yeah, and you
and
missed it. Luckily.
I literally got to my team at like, when I was like, oh, I got to check my team before those 10:30 game starts.
Right.
But there was a 10-10 game and I checked and it was like, 10-12. And I was like, oh, I didn't get Zebby Matthews in against the Tigers. And then the Tigers won that game 11-1. Yeah, 11-1. So I was like, yes, I didn't get there. So but with him being terrible, that at least gave up on the Zebby Matthews experiment.
Right, and it makes it easier when you're picking these people up. I think trying to get stats or innings or hits or whatever. It's like I can drop him. It makes it really
Yeah,
easy. You're like,
yeah.
well, that's
Like it's almost like if you're not going to be good, then just be so bad that I just cut you.
yeah. Don't
Just
be mediocre because then I might want to keep you, and I might not pick up that other person, and I'll lose a stat by one. Assad was picked up by Raptor. Lugo was dropped. Lawler was picked up by the Braves. Mead was dropped. Mead had played really well for a little while. He's cooled off, and that's the Atlanta Braves, our first place team, picking up Lawler, dropping Mead.
and and Lawler, obviously is made of glass. Who knows? But he's a great blue chipper too, and I think he's only like, yeah, I'd be shocked if he's 24, 25. He might be 23, 24 still.
Injury had some injuries, right, Steve?
Yeah.
Yeah, coming back from injury. So he plays third base and outfield. I love that. Mead, I'm going to say he's a guy's going to get picked up later because he was so hot earlier for like over maybe a month or so. I expect him to do it again eventually. He has cooled off now. Roop was dropped by Baltimore Chop, and Baltimore Chop, I dropped Roop in my money Roto league. Got some great starts from him, but he has cooled off also. Bellingham Bells picked up E. Pagan, hoping to get some saves, I guess.
I guess if you Yeah, and if you have room on your IL and it's the end of the week and you want to make a move to stash him on your IL before he comes back, I can see that.
Yeah, he's coming back pretty soon already. Isn't he throwing?
Yeah.
IP Tigers love to see busy. Picked up Callahan, second base outfield, and then Atlanta Braves picked up R. Lewis, a third baseman, and dropped Cameron. Maybe another great move by our first place team.
Yeah.
High
Royce
upside,
Lewis,
Royce Lewis.
another guy. Yeah.
Yeah, high upside. Been injured a lot, Steve.
Tons. I mean, he's worse than Lawler. I
Yeah,
mean, Royce Lewis really can't stay out of his own way.
right. Many different injuries for him. And then, so that, that's a nice pickup for our first place team. Then the Stony Sliders picked up Feed and dropped Caglione. So as you know,
Well,
there's a good hitter out there who can probably give you if he gets hot again. But I picked up Feed and it worked out for me as we saw. He picked 2 and 2/3 innings, got me a win to take the win category by one. Then Baltimore Chop picked up Robbie Ray, who was just dropped a little while ago and is a pitcher who maybe dropped and picked up because that guy, Cy Young winner, I believe, once,
yep.
can still pitch a good game.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you can't count on it anymore and
Nope,
there's no consistency, but he can do it. I mean, like,
absolutely.
let's say if he makes 30 starts a year, wouldn't you say like seven of them he's going to look awesome?
Awesome. Not just quality starts, but like 7 out of, if he made 30, he won't because he gets injured sometimes too.
Yeah.
But if he made 30, I would say seven will be dominating. I agree. He has that in him
Yeah.
still. Not as consistent as he used to be when he was younger. Good pickup by Chop. Hopefully he gave him numbers. I didn't look. Raptor picked up G. Rodriguez, starting pitcher for the Angels. I think it's Grayson, and dropped Jax, another pitcher who's dropped and picked up. Think about Jax. And I picked him up. He pitches like
Yeah.
4.1 or 5 innings. Like they've got him on a short 60 pitch limit, it
I know they're
seems.
trying to stretch him back out because he was a slot starter younger, became a reliever.
A
They
good one.
stretched him back out. I haven't seen. Are they actually like starting him, or is he coming in
Nope.
after an opener?
Nope, he's been starting from what I saw. I haven't seen every game, but he's been starting. But he's really only going 4 to 5 innings. And I looked at number of pitches last couple of games, and I think it's been in the 60s. So at least last game. So I like Jax. So I understand why Raptor picked him up and dropped him because it's frustrating also. Because if you're pitching 4.2 innings, even if you pitch great, you're not getting a win unless you came in
Yeah,
relief, like you're saying. If you're a second pitcher, you
right,
would, and that's what Feed
right.
was for me. By the way, I thought Feed was starting, and I think they made a change and have him be the second pitcher, and I was like, "Well, okay, well, I'll take that, sure."
Well,
Uh,
I'm glad you mentioned that because there's been twice this year where I've missed a starter because he wasn't listed as starting,
right,
but he was scheduled to pitch, but he because they were using an opener, he didn't have the starting icon next to his name.
right,
So you got to be
right.
careful of that thing too.
Right. We get too complacent with technology. We got to do a little more research to find things out. Um,
Like a good example would be, I mean, I know they stopped it now, but they did three turns through the rotation where Bryce Miller and Luis Castillo piggybacked.
yes.
Whoever wasn't starting didn't have a starter's icon next to his
Right.
name.
And they're the ones who are most likely to get the win because the other one's probably only going 3 or 4 innings.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yep. It's so true. So you got to do a little deeper research, especially if you look during game, right before game time. But of course, we have that life thing in the way. Not everyone's as obsessed with baseball like me. Haim was picked up as catcher for Humboldt Crabs. Probably had their catcher sitting that day. Humboldt Crabs also picked up B. Alexander, second base, third base, shortstop, outfielder, and dropped Bazana, who's playing pretty well for Cleveland. But Humboldt
He
Crabs using
probably
their
needed
moves
a.
in a tough matchup against me, B. Alexander and Bazana.
I'm playing great. He was one of the because I had sorted by catcher too, looking at stuff. He was easily the highest ranked catcher over the past week or two, and getting at bats. Because some catchers you're like, wow, look at that guy's average, and you're like, oh, well, he only got 11 at bats. You can't use that guy.
Yeah, Bazano playing well for Cleveland at second base. So Seymour picked up by Raptor. Assad dropped. There's some innings, chasing innings. And Lauer, this was a later pick. That last pick, Seymour for Assad, was really the last pick up before games. Lauer was picked up by Braves in a good move because Lauer starts Monday. So Braves said, I got a move left. I'm in first place. I'm going to make a move for Monday. He's very smart. We've talked about that before. But drop George Springer. Disappointing year for George Springer.
Very, especially after that massive comeback year he had last
Yeah.
year.
Yeah. I'm a Springer
Where
fan.
I mean, as a Seattle guy, well, I mean, I'm born and raised Boston, lived in Seattle for 30 years. Um, Everybody up here has hated Springer for a long time because he was on the Astros.
Sure.
And then in the ALCS last year, he saved the series with like a walk-off home run,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Or he took the lead in the eighth or
Took the lead.
something like
That's what
that.
it was. Yeah. That's what it was.
Yeah. And so not a lot of love for George Springer up here in the Seattle area.
No, I really love George Springer because as a baseball fan, I liked him early in his career. And that's before I found out about the cheating Astros. But if there's any Houston fans, we apologize, but they did. And so, but I had him on my fantasy team. You remember back in the Roto days, and he was
Yeah.
great. And that's why I love George Springer because he has rewarded me in the past, but not anymore. He was dropped for Lauer. Good pick up a Braves for the start on Monday, and then I believe this guy's name is Blaze Jordan. Was picked up Monday night, early morning, 128. Sunday night moves 25.
Bellingham Bells with a $25 waiver claim on
Yeah.
Blaze Jordan.
Well, you know how I feel about money. There's nothing wrong. I don't know how much money Bells has left. We'll look up in a sec, but that's a great. You want Blaze Jordan. You read something. You're like, I'm high on this. I could really use a person who plays first base or third base. I could. You know what? Whatever. I'm spending the money because I have it, and at the end of the year, I'm just gonna have $40 left anyway. So I love it. I love. You want somebody, go get him. Lampert was picked up and Steele was dropped by Momos, and I picked up E. Alvarado for the A's and dropped Feed. So my reward to Feed was, hey, thanks for that win. I took the win category. To the free agents world to you. I, I just waved them to free agency and picked up Alvarado. Alvarado has 2 saves in a row for the A's.
Yeah, I noticed that. He's been pitching great.
Yeah. And so as we said, we're both deficient in saves. So I'm always hunting. It's hard. It's like, do I want to use one of my five moves on a closer in a category I know I'm not going to probably come back but I wanted to try. I'd like to be at least competitive in saves against some teams. But listen, I love this league. It was an amazing week. A couple ties, a couple big wins, a couple teams lower than coming strong against teams above them. I love this league. I want to listen. We would have talked baseball. We always did, even before we started recording it, and we would have talked about this league anyways, pretty much like this, maybe more so. But I
Yeah,
want to thank Tim and Scott and Jeff, Mr. Austin's Momo, and Kevin and Jack and Richard and Trevor and Jim and Henry and Raptor and Muxak is IT Tiger's name, and Nathan from Creek Expos. Who thank you everyone for listening. We appreciate it.
definitely appreciate it. It's super cool. Like Dan was saying, we talk baseball all the time, but the cool thing about doing these podcasts is we do it every week during baseball season, whereas we probably would only do it once a month.
Right before we did it once every 3 or 4 weeks. We have been talking baseball for over 30 years on the phone because you moved up to Seattle, and we've been talking baseball ever since then. So it's nice to be recording it. I'm Dan O'Day. That's Steve Romano. This is the Field of Dreams Head to Head League. We'll see you next week. Thanks. Cheers.
Have a good one.